Hello everyone, and today I'm talking about print statements in Python. Print statements are vital for almost every single Python script out there, especially for beginners where what you're going to be doing very basic tasks involving taking numbers, manipulating them, and outputting values. So print statements are used to store variables. They're used to store a value or values depending if it's a list, but we'll get to that later. And so variables, how do they store value? So imagine I have the letter A in my hands, and you are a variable. If I hand you the letter A, you now have it. So you could say the variable is equal to A. As long as I don't give you another number, you will always be equal to A. So whenever you want the value to be stored and used, you must assign it to a variable, otherwise it'll get lost. For example, x is equal to 5, or even inputs. So what this input does is that it asks the user to enter an integer, and whatever number the user inputs will be equal to y, which can be used anywhere else in the script. So print statements with integers print statements, they display text to the user. So if you input my letter came in the mail, and you ran your code, what would come out would be my letter came in the mail. So always make sure to use this format. Print, and then in the brackets, circle brackets, comma, comma, in between the commas, write what you want to have written out. On top of this, variables can also be used within a print statement. This is done so, say the print statement can change values every time the code is ran. So it's not a hard value, it's not always going to say it's equal to 10 when it's not. You can make it equal to whatever number you calculated. So let's say you input x is equal to 1000. Here you go, and you input print statement in between the brackets again, but this time it looks a bit different than the one up here. This is because you have the variable here. So you can put it anywhere in any order you want, but in this one I took X steps today. Sorry. Whatever you want printed out, and you want it to stay the same. So if you want this to always be I took, make sure to put it within quotation marks. But as soon as you want the variable in, make sure to put a comma, the variable, and then you can put more after that by putting another comma and more quotation marks. So I took X steps today would output I took 1000 steps today, because X is equal to 1000. So let's have a practice. Say if X is equal to 2 and Y is equal to 5, using the code, calculate X times Y, and then print off the value of X times Y in a sentence. For example, make it type out X times 5 is equal to Z, where Z is the value. Don't just put 10 in because you know that's what it's equal to. Make sure to calculate it within the code and store the value in a variable and use that variable to print the answer. Feel free to pause here if you want to do this on your own. If not, the answer is on this next slide. So this can be done in multiple different ways. The fun thing about Python is that in a lot of cases you can do it in many different ways and you'll get the same outcome. Some ways are more efficient than others, but it doesn't matter too much. So I set x equal to 2, y is equal to 5, and z equal to x times y. So what this does is it takes x is 2, so 2, y is 5, so 2 times 5 is equal to z. So z is equal to 10. And then I input it into the print statement using the same quotation as before, right? So I want this to always be the same. So within quotation marks, comma, then the variable. Or it can be written out a bit different, where you can say the variable times y, variable times variable is equal to z. Either way, it'll get you the same answer down here as 2 times 5 is equal to 10. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a good day.